Right, so now I'm going to officially welcome you to Advanced Marketing Strategies Session 3. Glad that you could join us, and we've got a good crew on and more piling on all the time. So as always, I hope you've got your notes ready to roll, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So welcome back, and the first thing I have to say is applause. Oh my goodness. There are some of you that are doing great. I have had the pleasure of reviewing a new website. I've had the pleasure of looking at some marketing materials, talking marketing strategy. It's really been a joy to see you guys putting into action what we're teaching. So good job, really neat. And of course, you remember that our goal was simply to create more profitable revenue for you. And that's where we're going with this. And already some of you are starting to see some results, and I'm just really tickled. So as this little review that we're going to do here, we said we're looking for more sales, right? And we're looking for them faster, better margins on those sales if we can. Now, some of you have got some competitors doing some interesting things, and that impacts your margins. But getting smart about marketing can help. New markets more easily captured, and that's another cool thing. I was talking to somebody about they've actually expanded into a whole other territory, and that's exciting. And we said we get to a concise one-page 12-month plan, which is exactly what we're going to get to today, and that what we're striving for is high marketing return on investment so that you know that your marketing dollars are working for you. If you would, just say howdy in the Q&A area. Just make sure that everybody is able to use their Q&A because we will be using that today. So let me just get everybody kind of warmed up and saying howdy. Good deal. My little howdies are coming in. If you can't find your Q&A or for some reason you have been thrown onto this for the first time, there should be a little orange button on the side, and you are muted. So this is the way that we correspond with each other back and forth today. If for some reason you ask a question and I miss it, or it's been a while, good deal. All right. If for some reason I miss a very pertinent question, remember you're always welcome to email me. And for those of you that don't have that email, my personal direct email is Betsy, B-E-T-S-I, @askmeridian.com. I will tell you, however, that I do not keep my email on during the time that I'm presenting. Every once in a while somebody will email me during the session, and I won't see it until, after. So just so you know. All right, so wonderful group here. So here's where we have been and kind of our outline that we were doing. Session 1, we built our foundation strategy. Oh, Session 2 still says today, which is not today. Session 3 is today. But we did our tactics and ROI tracking, and then today we're working on our one-page 12-month plan. So today, the one-page plan, but before that, the quick review of Session 1 and Session 2. And some of you have been very good about telling me, hey, we're still, working on some things. And I'm going to do a little poll on that once we get through here and kind of see where everybody is. But let's just run through the foundational and a little bit of the tactics and ROI tracking from last time. We said that two main foundations were getting clarity on your best targets and then to start thinking like that person. And yesterday I had a short call with one of you, and you said it was really kind of neat to start thinking like the customer. And we were talking about competitors and how would the customer view you and your competitor when you start doing that analysis. So that's what we want to do in marketing, is always be thinking more and more like the customer. So no matter what the customer looks like. And then we went on and said that the key, the absolute key, is targeting the right prospects. And boy, was that hammered into me yesterday. I don't know how many of you were able to attend our Petro Answers growth seminar. I had selected out three marketers who are really growing for our Petro Answers teleseminar yesterday. And one of the things I thought was so interesting was one of the guys, the lubes guy, had actually done a really good job of targeting prospects, and they're in our coaching program, which has been fun, and had actually moved over the servicing and the care and feeding of what we would call C customers over to a whole other division. That was very interesting to me, and outsourced it. So it begins with targeting who is it that's going to spend the most money with us and targeting right prospects. And then we talked about the concept of reality marketing being market to the prospect the way they want it. And then we talked about internet. Yes, it's going up, but maybe yes, maybe no, depending upon who your target is. So that you're very thoughtful about that and how you're using your internet presence. And then, of course, you all remember this slide. This is the one that probably caused you all the most angst and grief, is trying to figure out how to be remarkable. And in an industry where a lot of times we're told not to be remarkable. And, one of my joys was talking to someone that said this is really the first time that they have been truly working on marketing their own company rather than the brand. And as we see what's happened with brands and brand development and brand changes and brands getting in and out of markets, where it used to be kind of we and the brand were one, I can even, and even to this day, there's probably people that answer the phone in certain businesses with the brand. And even some of you know my past background. I was married to a marketer, was a 76 marketer, and sometimes even in the phone numbers they would have the 76. So it's interesting how we're now starting to think about our own companies and how do we be remarkable. So this from the very first session, you remember we talked about some of these results that people had where you talk to your top customers, and that was one of the things that I charged you to do, is go out and talk to customers. And some of the things that you had found out in there, which was really neat, that sometimes it's hard to put on your customer hat, so the best thing to do is go talk to customers and find out what they see as unique about you. And as I'm saying this, it's really funny because Meridian's been working on honing up our unique proposition, and I realized I ought to talk to some of you guys who are in this. You'd be perfect for this, and ask you, what do you see as unique about us? So expect a phone call. Okay. So really kind of cool with some of the things that you found out. And then we talked about who do you need to be remarkable to, and of course it's only to your target customer. We're not really particularly concerned with our C customers. We're really wanting to work on our A preferred targets, and sometimes we don't have a whole lot of A preferred targets even yet. And in fact, that's what I'm going to ask you guys, because I can't remember if I have this on the poll, and just give me a yes or no. Have you clearly defined target right now? Do you feel like you have your target in your sites right now? You've clearly defined it. Just give me a yes or no on whether you have a clearly defined target. I should have built a poll on this one, and maybe I did, but okay, so some of you are still working on that, and there's a lot of you that are saying yes, but there's some no's coming in, and realize that is the key, the very key. And so do not do the rest of this stuff until you've gotten that target clearly defined. That is really, really important. And so I offered up for a lot of you to have a one-on-one conference call time with you. And if you have not clearly defined target yet, that is the best use of that time because everything else hinges on that, of getting that right. So thank you for being honest, for those of you that said no, by the way. Okay, and so we did this little form, and thanks to, and I can't remember who it was right now that said, hey, please send us that form, and we did that, is for helping you figure out your target market clarification and looking at possible market sectors, the revenue potential, kind of ranking those, and then being able to do this kind of a differentiation between who's a good target and who isn't, and best prospect characteristics, the people that you don't want, and then, getting that all clarified onto one piece of paper. So if you guys haven't done that yet, you really, really need to do that, okay? All right, and then we talked about identify, once you have that target in mind, now again, you can't just go after the world this way. You've got to identify who it is that you want to target, and you identify 3 pains or problems that those targets have before they purchase from you. And the idea is hopefully you solve some of those problems, right? Sorry, I'm getting a little sip of coffee here as I'm talking. So that was your next step, was once you've identified those